curse. Welcome to the classroom, motherfuckers. This is Learning to Curse with Adam and Chuck.
And that's when she told me that if I didn't remove my foot from the puppy, then she was going to call the police.
I thought it was from the mouth.
Oh, shit. And we're back.
We are back.
Yes.
But first, I need to know, are you experienced? Have you ever been near-death experienced? All you need is a little DMT and some purple haze. And welcome back.
Welcome back,
everyone.
How's it going, guys?
Welcome back to the Learning Curse experience.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Jimi Hendrix experience, but not.
No.
Are you experienced? Yeah.
Yeah. So across from me, I've got the guy with the phone.
Yes. And then walking the tightrope of the here and the hereafter, we have ayahuasca Chuck.
Ayahuasca Chuck, I like it.
Ayahuasca.
And we got Adam.
Yes. That Adam guy. He's
Adam.
there.
No. I think what?
Dimethyltryptamine Adam.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Man, Shroom Adam. And today we're discussing near-death experiences.
We are.
Are you near-death experienced?
I wouldn't say that I am.
Me either.
I wouldn't. I mean,
spoiler alert.
I would say I would want to know, like, how do you tell? Like, I guess you could tell with like an EKG and like a fucking heart monitor and shit.
Well, there's so many stages of death, but
how close to death you are? Like, what's near? Like
near death. I think they're counting
cosmologically. We're all near death.
Yes. we're all gonna hit death eventually.
I mean, if you think of it in the grand scheme, in the macro, and how long things last, I mean,
it's
100 years is not a lot.
It's like a
exactly.
So we're all near death.
It's like a wasp farting on a.
I guess relative to your life, and having a moment where you were on the brink of no more, the after.
I almost drowned when I was a kid.
There you go.
Maybe that's why I'm slightly slow.
Slow at swimming.
Yeah.
You think that would speed up the process of swimming?
Oh no, I'm just
for subsequent.
It's the lack of oxygen to my brain.
Exactly. And speaking of which, it's when the heart stops. You know, the brain pretty much. It's said that the brain stops activity minutes after.
Yeah.
Because of the lack of oxygen going to the brain. So that is, I think, is what they're focusing on with the near-death experience.
Although, if you are suffocated
during that time,
if you are suffocated, your lungs aren't oxygenating the blood.
Yes.
So you can have non-oxygenated blood going through your system because your heart is still pumping, and you may receive or experience brain
oxygen
death
that way
before you actually die because your brain has not gotten enough oxygen.
Yes.
But your heart is still pumping.
Ooh, and there's some stuff that I will touch on a little later in the episode about.
Don't tell people about that.
Spoiler
That's
alert.
the stuff we do in private.
First
what are you
spoiler
touching
alert.
on? You mean
myself?
Like, okay.
And in this Coors Light. We already opened them up. Can you tell we've already been drinking? And by the way, this episode can be heard as like a companion episode to episode 29, DMT Afterlife, where we discussed the after death and dimethyltryptamine.
Yes,
dimethyltryptamine. DMT.
Yeah.
Dumb money trap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had to come up with some other.
I don't know. I want to smoke DMT.
Yeah, why not?
Like, I really
have a
do.
near-death experience.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Like, I want to see if I can get to the 3 hits required to
the point of no return.
Yeah. Yeah.
To where everything just starts melting into a kaleidoscope of fuck.
Or I could just, eat some more shrooms.
Shroomin', yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. Either one sounds fun to me.
Our next episode will form kind of a trilogy with this one and the DMT episode.
That's the next one coming out is going to be the one about
it's going to be the fun stuff about
Bigfoot anal rape
and last words of celebrities.
Oh,
and
that
other
one.
Famous peoples.
That one.
And a whole lot of Sasquatch rape.
Yes.
Just because
you pronounced that wrong. It's pronounced rape squatch.
Saskatchewan.
Rape squatch.
Rape squash. Don't forget your rape whistles. There's a lot of rape squash in these woods. No!
Oh, man. That's a dog whistle. You trying to get raped by a werewolf?
A werewolf? We got to do that part 3 soon. But yeah,
we do.
So now before we crack this topic...
we need Brian to come back.
Exactly. Deathbed Confessions, which we'll make our own Deathbed Confessions on this next episode.
Yeah.
Yes. Too much
He
insight.
needs to be on that episode.
Part 4.
Yeah, fuck it.
It'll all be his.
We'll give him a call real quick. Like, hey
there, we need them Deathbed Confessions. Now, before we crack this topic, you can get us on most of the social medias.
Oh,
and
yeah.
hear us on the iTunes or the YouTube, or you're probably obviously listening to us on one of those right now.
Yes.
Plus, most of your favorite podcast apps, and let us know, because I had a little bit of this trouble, but let us know if we're not on your particular favorite podcast app yet.
Let us know what it is so we can get it fixed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can hit us up on any of the social medias.
Or you can email us at learningtocurse@gmail.com.
Ooh, we hit you in stereo.
Yeah, we did. Another thing, if you are going to go, like, the main ones, the big ones,
Yes.
but, like...
J-Date.
Yeah, no, like, I know...
We're on Tinder now.
Not a lot of people, like, I don't use iPhone. I don't use Apple products except for at work. But if you happen to use iTunes and you find our podcast on there, please, if you can, rate and review us.
Rape it.
More rates, more reviews helps push us up there for other people to discover us.
To hear our foul mouths talking about the paranormal.
Yeah, and making up shit.
Yeah, as we go.
Yeah.
A little bit of study, a little bit of fuckery.
Yeah, a lot of fuckery. I remember we had a discussion about that once. I think we could discuss that topic on a podcast. Fuckery.
Fuckery. Fuck magic.
Yeah.
There you go. That'll be another magic episode.
Yeah.
Well, let's start it off with, near-death experience, or NDE.
Yeah.
I mean, they do go by that abbreviation. It's out there. It floats around. NDE. A few definitions.
No dumb escorts.
Yeah, no dumb escorts. There you go. An unusual experience taking place on the brink of death and recounted by a person after recovery. Typically, an out-of-body experience or a vision of tunnel of light.
An experience described by some people who have been close to death, in which the person feels as if they have left their body and are watching themselves from above.
An occurrence in which a person comes very close to dying and has memories of a spiritual experience,
Dirty.
such as meeting dead friends and family members or seeing a wildlife during the time when death was near.
Ooh,
That's
like
it.
the death from Bogus Journey?
Yes.
Yeah.
That death jam.
Most deaf.
Yeah, most deaf. That death was awesome.
Yeah.
He was cool.
Best 5 out of 7.
Dude, they're doing part 3 soon.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck yeah, finally. They've been working on that for years.
Right.
They're gonna be old men.
Old men. They already are old men.
Yeah, but they're gonna be even older men.
Yeah.
Now
which one is I think it's Bill.
Yeah.
No, it's Ted.
Well,
Keanu Reeves.
No, I thought. Yeah, you're right.
He's Ted.
Yeah, Ted is as Keanu.
Yeah. He's gonna be like shooting everybody like John Wick style.
I know.
Anyway.
They should meet John Wick.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But so we discussed DMT flooding the brain possibly being a factor on the previous one.
Yeah.
But in many of the NDEs, the experiencer tends to have more coherent, less psychedelic experiences than one would have tripping on the dimethyltryptamine. So, however,
that's probably because it's less.
Less amount. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're tripping, you're like smoking, or if you're ingesting it some way.
When shit starts melting and you go all kaleidoscope mode, that's like
you're doing it. You're doing an excessive amount to be able to push yourself past that boundary.
To where you start
What is
seeing fractals
naturally
and shit.
occurring in your brain and what can be released when you die is a small fraction of what you ingest recreationally.
And then there's also the combo.
speak.
It's like the 1-2 combo in a way. I mean, and we're not
Yeah, I don't
experts
know.
on this, but
I'm a
you have-
neuroscientist.
yeah,
I didn't know if you knew this.
I'm an astrophysicist.
Yeah. I'm an astroscientist, a neurophysicist.
I'm Neptune
Hi, Neptune.
because I'm after Uranus.
Oh.
But real quick, however, some people do have the wild NDEs as well.
Yeah.
We're with fucking crazy shit that we talk about with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dimethyltryptamine.
yeah.
But with what you're saying, it could be the 1-2 punch of like the dimethyltryptamine mixed with the melatonin, because a lot of that is flooded into us as well. I mean, presumably.
Depending on how you are in
Which that
state
mellows
of
you out.
Well, depending on how you are in that state of near death, you've also got adrenaline.
Yes.
You've also got serotonin. You've got the
melatonin,
and you've got DMT.
Exactly.
You've got all of these chemicals interacting
uppers and
in your
downers.
brain.
I mean, a lot of our listeners may have partied hard like that before. Some uppers and downers at the same time. Some booze and some
probably done a speedball once or twice.
Well, there you go.
No.
Not us.
But I did do a line of tweak and then smoked a bunch of weed and completely leveled out.
Let's see. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that could account for why some have the more coherent, vivid trips, if they are indeed trips in their case.
Yeah. Well, again, I think that the composition of the chemicals that are released in your brain are going to be dependent on the situation, the circumstances in which you find yourself, quote unquote, dying.
Yeah.
Again, like if it's a tragic situation or like a freak accident, something that would cause a huge amount of adrenaline and a bunch of other chemicals to be released in your brain, you're going to have a different experience than if you're just laying there on your deathbed, slowly dying.
With family around you and maybe potentially being relaxed and at peace with what's going on.
But you could also, at that point, be more frightened of what's happening because you're more aware. It's not. It's not as on.
It can go either way in both of those types of situations, depending on the individual.
Right.
Yeah. But there are some major themes with NDEs, which may really have a lot to do with what one expects after dying, like religious iconography, the lack of experience, which is still an experience, like what my uncle had.
Like a virgin, touched for the very first time.
DMT for the very... Too many syllables.
Dying for the very first time.
Yeah. Or just like the confusion and not realizing that you're, not in your body when you have like the out of body experience and so on. With the following types of NDEs, some experiencers, I got to note this, that some experiencers actually experience more than one of these, obviously, like a combination of them, while others just had one of these.
Yeah.
Now the first one, let's just get this one out of the way because I know how we feel about this. Religious iconography and spiritual symbolism.
This all entirely. Like I said before, you're not raised like Pentecostal, and have imagery of like
very rare that your mind will stray from
the
that.
Torah,
right?
I guess that's kind of the similar iconography,
but still,
how it's referred to, Taoism or whatever the fuck, some other religion.
Jawas?
Yeah, Jawas. Star Wars shit.
Yes.
No, like fucking.
I want that.
Help me think of
another. Star Wars.
The only other goddamn religion that can pop to my head right now is Mormonism, or not Mormonism, Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all kind of the
Hinduism.
same shit. Yeah, Hinduism, I guess. Something that's got different shit than the other shit.
Right.
Like you're not like raised Christian and see like the Buddha when you die. Or
it's what you've been indoctrinated to see.
Yeah. It's literally imagery that's been put into your subconscious from years and years and years of indoctrination.
It's kind of a given. If you've been indoctrinated by one religion or another, chances are you're going to see that.
Yeah. I would love to see a study of individuals who became religious later in life.
Yes.
To see what
because their mind may revert back to things prior to their religious belief,
or the indoctrination even later in life can still have that subconscious effect on you
right away.
Instill that fear in you.
Exactly.
That's an interesting question.
Well, and there's also a lot of cases where people we know about religious iconography.
Yeah.
Because, we have that programming, I'll say. What if that still popped back up when we had our
near-death
experience?
I think
and there's also people that become religious or spiritual. They tend to go more spiritual after they have an experience like this, which is weird. The studies show
there's actually
a lot of people do.
A lot of people do. It's not very often that it happens, but people who are super religious who have sometimes had a near-death experience,
they go more spiritual. They let go of their...
Not even that. They come across the other side not religious at all.
Yeah.
Because they didn't see anything.
Yes. Here are a few of the major types of themes that people have when they have near-death experiences. The bright light.
Yeah.
We just covered the religious iconography. But now the bright light, that kind of goes hand in hand with it, but it doesn't because you don't necessarily have to be religious.
No.
But there is a scientific explanation, but I'll let you go first.
Let me say what I have to say about the bright light. Seeing the bright light.
Go for it.
So back when I was a stupid child, and I was experimenting with different ways of altering my brain, like drugs and alcohol. it's not readily available for 11 to 13-year-old to get their hands on something like that. So we used to choke ourselves and make ourselves pass out.
Oh, that was a popular game in the 90s, early 90s
and cut off the
us.
circulation.
Yes.
Until you literally made yourself pass out.
Yeah.
What was the first thing you saw right before you passed out?
I never did it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what the first thing you see right before you pass out.
A light.
A bright white light.
Exactly.
Or a flash.
Yep.
Because that's what happens when your brain loses oxygen.
REM intrusion may be a scientific explanation. It is basically a sensory mix-up. Visual cortex is affected. So it can create a dark tunnel or a bright light. Kind of back to what we were saying earlier about the dark tunnel. Some people that are religious, they go into a near-death experience and they see the dark tunnel, and then, like you're saying, may sway them away from believing.
Right.
Because I didn't see anything. Well, the fact that you experienced seeing that dark tunnel, but you get it.
Yeah.
When this happens obviously when the body is dying or is close to it, or your mind thinks it's dying.
Yeah. Like, I could use all of these ideas to write a really fucked up story about a near-death experience that then again, that is Flatliners. Never mind.
Wait, happened twice.
Yeah.
Happened twice.
Yeah.
Another type, seeing family and friends who have passed away. That makes sense because, you're going to...
Yeah. And this isn't necessarily talking about afterlife, because stories that people have of afterlife and shit like that, it's like, how the fuck do you know?
Because you've never
been afterlife. You've had a near-death experience and you came back. How do you...
Now, let's be very clear on this. It's a near-death experience is a near-death experience.
Yeah.
It's you didn't cross over into literal death. And as we progress with our knowledge of what death is, there are different stages of death.
Yeah.
And there have been stories of people that came back after extreme amounts of time with little no oxygen going to the brain, and they've come back either really fucked up,
right?
Or they come back fine, and they're considered medical miracles.
Have you heard those stories of the people?
Dead.
Right. Have you heard those stories of the people who have a near-death experience, or they die, and are resuscitated and speak a different language?
That sounds familiar to me, but I've never researched it or looked into it.
I've looked into it a little bit, and it can either be from blunt force trauma to the head, and they literally come back speaking another language, or knowing another language, or having a different dialect, or having a different accent.
Now, two things here that come to mind when I hear that. Collective consciousness.
Yeah.
That could be one thing.
But they have their same memories.
A back way into collective consciousness. Or the other thing could be, what if it's muscle memory? Do these people definitely do not have anyone in their family tree? Because who knows?
No, like there was
remember those DNA.
There was this one that I had looked up.
And you had an experience with
but that wasn't. I did have an experience with speaking a different language, but it wasn't like I wasn't dying.
Yeah,
like I was just asleep.
But it could you could have received that by the same means.
Could have been.
Yeah, it could be the same thing that.
But I think there was one situation like that where I think it was like a Mexican dude who was like from LA or something like that, and he came back speaking Chinese.
What?
Yeah.
Is this the Chuck story?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm not making this one up.
Right.
The details are fuzzy because it's been a while, and I've been
look it up. Go Google this, guys.
Yeah.
And gals.
Yeah. That's what I think is fun about our podcast is we do a little bit of research. We have information, but instead of relaying all of the information to you,
we make you do some of it.
Yeah. If it's because if it's not fascinating to you, we're not going to give you all of the details of these different accounts. If you like it, if you think it's cool, go look it up.
And simply, cool. I jot down some notes, do a little research, but as we're doing these episodes,
it's fun.
We don't compare what we're looking into before we do these episodes, and more shit comes up as we're doing the episode. I get done editing an episode and I say, "Fuck, I could have talked about this. I didn't bring this up."
Right.
That's one of the main reasons I have notes. Keep me on track. And now we're getting to the OBE. OBE and recalling events after.
You down with OBE?
Yeah, you know me.
You down with OBE?
On this EP?
You down with OBE?
You silly bee.
Don't fuck with me. So OBE. Oh,
Out of body experience.
out of booty experience.
Yeah. Or the Abby Bradley experience. I don't know.
Yeah. So there's the thing
We'll touch on OBEs a little more in depth a little later in the episode. Definitely. I have some notes on that, but yeah, let's theorize a little bit on it. Right
I mean, have you never had like one of those those times when you can't sleep, right? You've been trying and you lay down and you're just gonna be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna lay here, close my eyes and
jerk
sleep.
reaction?
No. Have you ever had an experience where because I have, where I'm laying there and I haven't been able to sleep, and I'm finally just like, fuck it, I give up, I'm just gonna lay here and make myself go to sleep.
Yes.
And my brain fucks with me, and I can see myself in situations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how
your mind's creative enough to create an entire environment where you think you're really there, but you're not.
But you can see yourself instead of most of the time when you're in a dream or whatever, and you're yourself.
Watching yourself in third person.
You're
first person.
You're hardcore Henrying the whole damn thing.
You're a first person shooter.
Yeah. But in these cases, I've actually been able to see myself and have.
I haven't
like
had
I'm looking at myself.
I've always been first person in my dreams.
Most of the time I am too, but I don't dream that much because I have sleep apnea. So I don't get REM.
Get REM sleep. Oh,
No.
Yeah, that's me these days. Not because of the apnea, but
Yeah.
well, here's spoiler alert for our OBE discussion.
I've got bad knees and sleep apnea. I am like a 500-pound man in a 150-pound person's body.
A little spoiler alert. The left temporoparietal junction is going to make its way back into the show again.
I thought it was the petticoat junction.
Yes. Confunction junction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Conjunction.
Conjunction. Confunction. Did I say confunction? Confucius say.
Yeah.
Some of the other types. Now, these,
I'm confuncted.
I haven't heard too much about these other types. Maybe like the fear-based violence and persecution type. I mean, I heard some of that, like hell. Like I guess you can squeeze that in there. People having images of going to like a hell or a purgatory or something scary.
Yeah.
I mean, that may just arise from guilt.
Yeah.
You know, you're guilty of something. You're damning yourself, because I really don't believe that there's a hell, let alone a heaven. And okay, if we do have some kind of life, some consciousness after our body dies, I think anybody that would experience a hell is just putting themselves there because of their guilt, their issues that they got to work out. I don't. What is the point? What would be the point of a hell? That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
But so fear-based violence, persecution. Yeah,
we'll get into the hell
guilt.
topic when we have Satan on the phone on the episode.
Tell me all your thoughts on hell.
Yeah.
Remix. Seeing animals or plants. I haven't really heard too much about this. But I imagine, when I was actually researching that type, a lot really didn't come up on that or this next topic, which is the deja vu type.
Ooh.
It's
Where you relive situations?
Well, no. But there is one story that kind of clarifies it, but there wasn't a whole lot of... it's like a lot of sites were putting these out there as types, but they weren't explaining them.
Okay.
But I would imagine like the seeing animals or plants would be more like down the lines of like a pagan type.
Could be.
Somebody that's more into nature.
If you see stuff like that, maybe that could be the arise of why people think that when you reincarnated as animals.
Yeah.
Could
maybe. Maybe these particular individuals...
You have a near-death experience, and you're like seeing yourself fucking a cow.
It's a third person again.
Yeah.
So it's like an OBE.
But you're the cow being fucked.
It's an OBE NDE.
Yeah. Or it's a first person, and you're just seeing yourself rutting with an animal, and it's like, huh? Why do I have a boner?
Yeah. The strange erotica.
Where did this boner come from, and why is it in my ass?
Strange animal erotica.
Yeah.
But I think that would be like their, maybe in a lack of religious iconography or spiritual symbolism. That's like, or that could be their type of spiritual symbolism.
That could be, yeah.
That they're saying. Maybe they're just more at peace with nature.
Or if they're like just like an animal lover,
And that's exactly what they're gonna go to, is like nature, animals, plants.
Somebody, or just a misanthropic asshole who's like, I don't like humans.
Yeah.
Dogs are cool.
Or it's like a mixture. It's like a fear-based and nature plant one.
Yeah.
And they felled a lot of trees. They were a logger, like Travis Walton, and that shit's coming back to haunt them.
Yeah.
Their guilt.
Well, plants are the dominant species.
Exactly. So I was thinking about that too. The deja vu one, There is a story about that I actually came across, and
you know what? I have to
rephrase
rephrase that because there's multiple species of plants, but flora is the dominant type.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
what were you saying?
Just like humans, we have our stronger and weaker physically and mentally. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah.
But, we could still be the dominant species mostly on the backs of the stronger of our species.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm scratching my nipples.
There you go. Nips.
My nips.
So, yeah, the deja vu, I came across one story because I was looking everywhere. I was like, what do they mean, deja vu? What is the connection? What is it?
Yeah.
But I was like...
It was maybe that movie with Denzel Washington,
exactly.
Right? Where you go back in time, like, yeah.
No, but I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just a relation to what they think is causing deja, because they have a scientific explanation for deja vu, why the brain does it, what they think.
Voodoo.
And we'll do an episode on that as well. Right. And I was thinking maybe they were connecting that to NDEs or something like that. But I did come across a story, and this is pretty trippy. So this guy, he was talking about the time when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. His car went off a bridge.
Was he driving it?
No, he was a kid.
Okay.
So basically, he went.
Well,
off.
He was in the car.
Yes,
though.
he was in the car.
Yeah,
him and his family. They went
telling this anecdote about like the parking brake wasn't
as
on.
He was in
and
the
car rolls over.
So his car went over the bridge into the water.
Ooh.
Right.
Sploosh.
And then he started to go unconscious. Mm-hmm. So he had a near-death experience where he was up on the bridge with a bunch of onlookers. Mm-hmm. They ran down to save the people in the car. He reaches down and a little hand comes out, a child's hand. He proceeds to try to pull this child out, and it's him.
Yeah.
And somebody else pulls him away and saves the child.
Okay.
So that was his near-death experience. Mm-hmm. After, I guess, years later, he was on a bridge driving, and he saw another car go off the same spot of the bridge into the water.
Yeah.
He got out, ran down with all these other people, saw a little hand pop up out of the water, and he pulled a boy out. It was a different boy.
Yeah.
But had the same experience he had.
Wow.
So I don't know if that qualifies as like straight out deja vu.
No.
But maybe he was having like a precog. Maybe in his moment of...
Maybe it wasn't his deja vu. Maybe it was the boy he saved his deja vu.
Because it was a similar experience that happened. Because, I look at time as
non-linear?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like a cycle. So not only do I feel that past events, tragic events, hold like a residual haunting, a residual energy there, you could experience a future event from that area as well.
Right.
And maybe that's what he had. He starts to go unconscious.
Yeah.
Instead of having a true near-death experience, he's having a precog moment of another event, tragic event that happens there because of it's like a residual, but from the future.
Yeah, like the movie Arrival. We've talked about it a little bit before, I think.
Definitely.
But it's completely non-linear, and you can see she's having flash forwards throughout the whole movie.
Right.
You think they're flashbacks.
But if that's what deja vu near-death experience is, that's pretty trippy.
Yeah.
If anybody has heard, I don't know. I've looked everywhere for a clarification on what that type is, but if anybody has heard of it, let us know.
This is the first I've come across it.
That's pretty trippy. It's also worth noting.
I'll note it. Hold on.
The warmth and calmness that comes over most people, not all cases.
It's urine.
But over most people. They just pee themselves. They just let it go. Maybe a little bit of scat too.
Scat man.
But save for the people that have the fearful NDEs. Most of the people will have some kind of warmth or calmness of them about them as they're having these experiences.
And again,
but that's just a chemical reaction.
Is it niacin?
Mm-hmm.
Niacin is a drug that when you take it, you can definitely feel like you've got fever.
Yeah.
And your whole body gets hot. So chemicals in your blood and in your brain can definitely make you feel, even if you're not physically warm, make you feel like you're warm. Yeah. Like when I don't know if you ever had a CT scan. If they ever give you a CT scan with contrast, they put iodine in you.
Yeah.
And
they need to see it. Yeah.
They'll tell you, you're like, you're going to feel like you need to pee, and you're going to be warm. It's going to be warm. That's just what it is.
It's going to be
Or if you've ever had an IV drip.
No.
Of saline.
I'm a lucky bastard as far as all that goes.
I've had
after this episode, I get it all.
Yeah. But you get really fucking cold when you've got a saline drip. Because they don't warm the bag, and it's just cold saline going in.
Right
so there's no chemical in it. It's just saline. But when they give you other medication or drugs, you can feel the warming effect sometimes. So I think it's chemicals, definitely.
Chemical reaction. I mean, it and I think it all really does boil down to, like we were talking about on DMT Afterlife. It's like your body's way of giving you a calm, peaceful send-off.
I honestly think that's what it is. It's a defense mechanism.
Yeah, your body thinks it's dying. You're just being fooled. This is it. This is it. All right.
Yeah, it's like those plants. Have you seen those plants when you touch the leaves, they all kind of fold into each other?
Protective.
Yeah. It's just a reaction.
Yeah. How common are near-death experiences? We have the statistics.
Ooh.
Statistics. The stats. 13 million Americans, or 5% of the nation's population, had experienced an NDE as of 1992, according to a 1992 Gallup poll cited by the Near Death Experience Research Foundation, which I have a website for that a little later in the episode. Off mic, you were asking about it. There's the U.S. population, roughly 330 million.
Okay.
So let's subtract.
It's 32,000 or 32,800,000.
Should.
So that's people that haven't had an experience.
But most people they just die.
That's a good point.
Right? They just die.
That's a good fucking point. Okay, that's a good. Okay, I mean, I wasn't thinking of it that way, but yeah, that's a good
these are people
point.
that get close and come back.
Yeah.
And then there's also people that just don't remember.
Right. Or
they
just
don't
anything.
have an experience, or they don't report it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they're also estimating this. Because they really didn't go out and find 13 million Americans.
Sure they did.
774 NDEs per day are experienced in the United States, according to the same poll. Yeah. That means another 6 million or so Americans.
Where's this poll
may
located?
Have had,
is this the South Pole? The North Pole?
The East Pole.
The East Pole.
The East Pole, yes.
Yeah.
Fine little stripper establishment on the west side of town.
Yes.
But yeah, 774 NDEs per day are experienced.
The further east you go, you'll wind up in the west.
Exactly. So. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Because even though the flat earthers don't believe it.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, 774 NDEs per day are experienced in the United States, according to the same poll. That means another 6 million or so Americans may have had NDEs since 1992 poll, raising the number of Americans who have had an NDE, like we just said a little bit ago, from 13 million.
I like raisins.
To 19 million.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it was a 1992 poll, so we're looking at 19 million or more by now.
Yeah, we're looking at 1992 numbers.
Yep.
Yeah. Those are skewed because of the Clintons.
Okay.
I don't know.
Fresh off of the first Bush.
No, I think fucking
that
Bush,
just sounds dirty.
Yeah. Bush was president in 92.
Yeah, he was still president.
Yeah.
A survey of 2,000 people in Germany.
Ooh,
German. Published in the Journal of Near-Death Experience in 2011.
I experienced all these Jews near death.
Found 4%.
Then I walked away. They all died.
Okay. Published in the Journal of Near-Death Studies in 2011, found 4% had experienced an NDE in Germany. In a 2005 survey of American doctors. Now, this is really interesting.
How many American doctors die every year?
No. Check this out. In a 2005 survey of American doctors, it was shown that 59% believe in some form of afterlife. That's very interesting considering they're doctors. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've encountered more doctors that were atheists or agnostic.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What was his name? Ben Carson. That dude is a neurosurgeon, but also a complete fucking moron when it comes to other things that do not pertain to neurosurgery.
There are a lot of geniuses that are like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't consider it a genius. I would say that they're very skilled at their field. That doesn't make them a smart person. It means that they've studied and know this particular thing. Just because they're a smart doctor, and I give them credit for doing that, but that doesn't exclude you from being a goddamn idiot.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Chuck equates idiocracy with belief in the afterlife.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
I pronounced that wrong.
I pronounced that wrong. Yeah. It's pronounced death of a career. I will see you later.
Oh, no.
We'll have to get a new host.
We're assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just get you a duck.
Yeah.
right? And it'll take my place. It'll be learning
with
to curse
Adam and
with
Duck.
Adam and Duck.
Oh, I think we're both gonna have to duck pretty soon here. I mean, especially when we do live appearances.
Oh God, I can't wait for that.
Right, Australians, Australia. We got to say this in an Aussie voice. You know,
I'll give it here.
We got.
Titties.
I'll do half of it. I'll do half.
right.
Australian sociologist Sherry Sutherland. I'm going a little hard on all the vowels because they get hard on the vowels. Interviewed 50 NDEs. That's the thing now, NDEs, and found that 70%. It's going all over the place, Max.
All over the place.
70% described their experience as spiritual, but none described it as religious or from the cloaca. And,
Not from my cloaca, that's for sure.
Would you like to read the last part of it?
If I get to read it in this accent,
Where the curse is.
All right.
All right,
Also,
cloaca.
the NDEs were specifically asked to differentiate between changes in their spirituality and changes in their religiosity after the experience. Crikey.
And this is by far not the definitive list.
Yeah.
You know, obviously.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Of studies and surveys on the NDEs. Just enough to give you an idea of how common the phenomenon is. Historically.
Yeah.
I wanted to note the NDEs, because some of the...
Historically, 100% of people experienced a near-death experience.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And then they died.
Yes. Only some came back.
Only some didn't die right then and then had another one. So what this basically tells us is that people have had multiple.
People that have claimed to have one
will definitely have another.
Two. But I wanted to know, because a lot of paranormal experiencers, right? Paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
Came about later on. Like, okay, yes, you could argue that there have been potentially UFO experiences way back to the beginning. As I'm knocking shit over in my studio.
These aren't on.
They're not on. Fuck it.
Yeah.
My tail.
Those are our good ones.
Yes,
the
those
expensive
are our good ones. Yeah, we're using the cheaper, nice ones.
Yeah.
But anyways, it could be argued that there have been UFOs like way back.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's definitely popularity in phases of certain paranormal activity. Like the 40s hit, and then boom, UFOs, flying saucers.
What was it, like 20s and 30s? It was a really like a huge influx in like spirituality and like seances
there are waves
and
of
shit.
these things.
Yeah,
definitely. But as far as NDEs go, it could be argued that they've been around since the beginning. I mean, since people were on the brink of death and came back and lived to tell the tale. So,
I mean, honestly, I think that could be a part of what started a lot of religious beginnings.
Oh, fuck yeah. Can you imagine, like, early man.
Like, yeah.
Not knowing shit about science yet, still making up fucking bullshit stories just to cover everything.
Right.
And myths and all that shit, and gods and all that. And then they started having ayahuasca trips.
Right.
And then, you know, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I think it's time for a
breaking point.
Or in this point, it'd be a near-death point.
Yeah, an NDP. Yeah.
Sounds like a drunk person. Like,
that
just wants to pee.
Hold on a second. NDP over here. Hey, wait a second. Adam, tell Tabby we're really close to this. I need to pee. NDP.
And then it turns into
I throw up all over the place. So I'm at my breaking point.
I'm at my NDP point.
Yeah.
Wait, I already said point. And we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
So some potential explanations.
Potential
explanations. More on the scientific side of it.
Raxacoricofallapatorius.
What was that?
I said Raxacoricofallapatorius.
There you go.
It's from the season 1 of the 9th Doctor of Doctor Who.
And
the reboot, or not the reboot, but when they came back.
And that's where Doctor Who was valedictorian.
Yeah, no, it's Raxacoricofallapatorius. No, it wasn't him. Maybe
Roxanne.
it was him. Maybe it was David Tennant.
Roxanne?
Yeah, I don't remember. It's been a while.
The science behind near-death experiences and out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
I'm belchy.
Science.
Obviously, out-of-body experiences can happen independently of near-death experiences, which we'll do an episode on. Just
Like
OBE.
asshole projection.
Asshole projection, yes.
Yeah.
Asshole projectiles.
Yeah. That's poop.
It could be achieved through meditation, hyperventilation, which we were talking about earlier with the choking game from the 90s. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember not doing it.
That's how I developed my autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, yeah. Your
fetish.
Hutchins. Your Hutchins carradine
Hutchins Carradine was my nickname in high school.
There you go, Hutchins Carradine. Look at you, little foreteller of the future.
Right?
They're like, the Kung Fu guy? Oh, no, just wait.
You wait.
The closet guy.
Yeah, the stories I've been told by the...
From the future.
Yeah.
So you can have an out-of-body experience.
Hutchins Carradine would be a great name for a fucking... Not even a band, just a character in a movie who dies from autoerotic asphyxiation.
How does he die?
Yeah, that would be funny. Like the character dies and everybody thinks that Hutchins Carradine died from autoerotic asphyxiation, but no, he was shot.
Yeah, he was just shot in the toe. He bled out.
He bled out. He had hemophilia.
He bled out because he had to stop and do auto, but he actually survived it.
Yeah.
But he was too late with the bleeding out of the toe. Anyways, obviously out-of-body experiences can happen independently of near-death experiences, like through meditation, hyperventilation, like the choking game.
Mediterranean meditation.
Mediterranean house geckos. Fainting, or intentionally inducing one in a controlled environment, and so on.
Like drugs.
Or dicking around with the left temporoparietal lobe.
Or left temporal parietal lobing around with your dick.
Why did I say lobe? The left temporoparietal junction.
That's the one. The
and the common denominator between most of these is a lack of oxygen to the brain, which we discussed already.
Right.
Now, we brought this up before on the episode, like I was saying, the temporoparietal junction.
How come they never studied the effects of a lack of hydrogen to the brain? There's other things in the atmosphere that we're breathing in other than oxygen.
Exactly. Or the effects of aluminum. Oh, wait, they did. Alzheimer's.
Yeah. But then they forgot.
They forgot
their findings.
Damn old-timers disease. Yeah. The temporoparietal junction. So basically, when there is a lack of oxygen, the brain reduces functions to conserve energy. Which is smart, brain. But when this happens to the temporoparietal junction, the brain...
I said that one time. My brain's not a mind reader.
Yeah. What happens when this happens to the temporoparietal junction? The brain's ability to understand its location is greatly hindered, and as a result,
it thinks it's in the balls.
It has an out-of-body sensation.
Yeah,
an out-of-body sensation occurs. They can induce this effect, like I brought up before on other episodes, in controlled conditions.
Yeah.
You could do this by stimulating the left temporoparietal junction, which I've said.
Or stimulating your testicle.
I said more than enough times now that I can get it right.
I'm not going to tell you which testicle.
And also using ketamine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would not use ketamine.
No.
I would not.
Fuck no.
Why the fuck would you use ketamine?
They used it.
No.
And as I mentioned before on previous episodes, with seeing shadow entities and doppelgangers.
Yeah. Real quick, I knew a dude whose drug of choice was ketamine.
Oh, fuck.
Like, why?
Why?
I mean, it's almost as bad as having your drug of choice be heroin.
Yeah.
But, like, why are you taking ketamine? Are you a fucking horse?
Right.
Stop it. Stop it right now.
They want it.
Do some shrooms.
They won't.
And shut the fuck up.
And,
anyway.
and as I mentioned before in previous episodes, with seeing shadow entities and doppelgangers, which this goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it does.
The doppelgangers,
holding
you would
hands
see yourself.
They're skipping through a fucking field of tulips.
Galloping around in the tulips.
Yeah.
Tiptoeing.
That's actually an amalgamation of the two words. Field of tulips is Philip.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tiptoeing with the
So
tulips.
if you know anybody named Philip, start calling them Field of Tulips.
So anyways, like I was saying, I mentioned this on previous episodes, like the shadow entities and the doppelgangers. These are effects that can come from tinkering around with the left temporoparietal junction.
Yeah.
Which doppelgangers, you're seeing yourself.
Ooh, yeah.
It's like an out-of-body experience because
Yeah.
you see yourself in a lot of these cases.
Yeah.
You can see how one could experience seeing their own body from a different perspective.
Right.
It could also be argued, since we have neural activity for several minutes after cardiac arrest, like we were talking about earlier.
Woo, 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 you're under arrest, cardiac.
Oh, man. People that are having these experiences aren't really having true death experiences.
No. Because if they were having true death experiences, they'd be dead.
Yeah, maybe near death, but not true death experiences.
Right.
Hence the NDE, near death experience, with the after death being nothing more than nothingness forevermore.
Well, it's not even that.
Sadness.
It's that if there's death, how are you going to
have any experience?
Yeah.
That's an experience in itself, but you're not going to experience it consciously. Unless there's a collective consciousness, but we still haven't been able to prove it.
Yeah, we don't know.
That's what I'm holding out on that one.
If there's anything, that's what you're.
That's what I'm holding on to. The possibility of it.
Yeah.
And if they disprove it, then there's definitely nothing.
What I'm saying about that, and I know this is kind of getting off topic, but it kind of is on topic, is, and I've said it before, but all of these fucking detailed explanations of what is to come after death.
Yeah.
Who the fuck told you?
Who survived to
told
tell the story?
You this shit? Yeah.
Who from over there? And if it's a disembodied voice,
yeah,
whether it's through EVP or Spirit Box, or you just hear it,
right,
and you think that it's outside of your head.
Like, I don't.
How do you know that they're disembodied entities?
Right. I don't even think that like these ideas of heaven or hell,
those
or
don't
any
come
type
from
of afterlife,
the dead.
They're not ghosts.
No.
Like relaying this information to you. Somebody came up with this shit.
Although there have been videos of EVPs where they say that they are definitively in hell or they're in heaven, but I think those are hoaxes.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. That one where that guy like points his, he finds that little crawl space under his house and he points the camera in there and that's I have a pig body or something like that. I'm a pig boy or some weird thing. Yeah.
Where was that story from? I remember hearing that.
That was on some like weird like
Chris was talking to us about that too. Yeah.
Like a ghost hunter show or something.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I mean, are EVPs real? There's something. I've experienced them, but I don't know what they are.
Well, remember,
and until we know, we can't just say it's dead people.
Yeah, the only way, honestly, that I don't know how we would be able to record a legitimate EVP.
We can get.
The reason I say no is because if a lot of that has to do with like, from what I suspect to be electromagnetic feedback or somehow interference.
Yes.
How are you going to eliminate that interference to determine that it's not that interference?
This is true.
To be able to record it. Because your recording equipment would provide that feedback and interference.
It would have to be in a controlled environment, but then is your environment so controlled that there isn't going to be any entity there to want to speak? So you can't outright dismiss it if you don't get a voice in the controlled experiment. But at the same time, if you did,
well, you can't prove a negative.
Yeah.
So,
so
all we're proving is that we haven't gotten anything
in a controlled test. Now we can go try to recreate where I got one of my best EVPs, which was my mother-in-law's house.
Yeah.
We could try to recreate that.
Yeah.
And if we get an EVP,
and again, I have that experience too, where I have that video, that recorder, and it picks something up and screaming in German at me, but I don't know what it was.
And it wasn't in a controlled environment.
It was.
So in a situation like that, we could still test it, but you would have to start going down the list of the possibilities of what it may have been and try to eliminate those things one by one and repeat the test.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could do it.
That's the thing, though, is like these types of things, it's what makes studying or researching the paranormal to be somewhat difficult, because a lot of the results are unfalsifiable.
Well, and the other problem is what I'm going to get to right here. Lastly, like other areas that we explore in our show,
like my anus, my soft, juicy anus.
This fucking ruins it for people like us.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who lie about their experiences.
Yeah.
They lie about their experiences for attention or for other reasons. They hoax things for, they make hoax videos.
Yeah.
And
look, if I had the opportunity and I had a pretty good chance that if I wrote a book about an experience that I had, even if I completely made it up but sold it as true, I'd do it.
Well, look at that. There's that one story about the boy who went to heaven. I forget the name of the title.
Yeah.
But they later proved it as, the boy came out as saying, I made this shit up.
Yeah.
And it was a big seller.
Oh, yeah. And even after the fact, people still buy into it.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
If they haven't heard that he came out about it, they're still buying it. It's fucking... But to me, that's the most frustrating part of it. Yes.
You fucking liars. You goddamn...
Stop lying about the paranormal.
Fuckers, you charlatans.
So, on the one hand, yes, it's hard to test this shit.
Is it weird that I direct my anger towards my microphone? Like, it's the one that's...
It's carrying the signal to the people we're directing it at.
Yeah, but the people we're directing it at aren't listening to our show.
Not right. Well, you never know. They could be laughing.
Yeah.
There could be skeptics listening to it. Like, I like when they get all skeptical.
Yeah. No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean, I'm not talking about the skeptics. I'm talking about the liars.
Oh, the liars.
Fuck you.
Well,
they might not be skeptics.
No, here's the thing. There's a lot of liars that are skeptics.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if they really, okay.
And I guess I did just admit to being one that would do that if I had the opportunity.
Well, no. Yeah, but we want to have answers to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, we are skeptical about it. We approach it that way. But there's a lot of people that are 100% skeptic. I guess they would be, whereas technically, I call myself, and I'm going on a tangent here,
that's fine.
Agnostic.
Yeah.
But technically, if I had to lay on one side or the other, it'd be agnostic atheism.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit borderline agnostic deist.
Yeah.
Totally outright, I dismiss theism, and unless like
theism, yeah,
like it's just it's man-made. It's bullshit. But anyways, like an atheist Gnostic would be that type of skeptic, that level of skeptic that just thinks it's fucking garbage. Everything's garbage.
Everything is.
They have their mind made up.
Yeah.
And some of those types go out and hoax shit.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
You have your mentalist types that are completely non-believers.
Yeah.
But they pass themselves off as magicians, and they will find ways of fucking with people to make them believe in this shit.
Yeah.
So that type.
Yeah.
So I'm just totally telling you who you're directing.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks.
There you go.
What was that one dude who was a mentalist, and he had a TV show, and he looked like a fucking Osman.
Was it the guy that no
start with Bobby or something?
I'm thinking of somebody else, but I
don't know.
But there's the one guy that has the test or whatever.
Yeah.
Not Randy. Is it James Randy?
James Randy has the test.
Yeah, the atheist, and he was he started life as a magician, right? Yeah. And he has that. He'll pay out money if you could prove something.
Yeah.
I say if we ever.
That's
the first thing we
James
do.
Randy Randy Foundation is no longer a thing. They don't do that anymore.
Oh. Well, still.
But I think there's another organization that still kind of helps.
That's the first thing we do after we write a paper. If we find a way of proving one type of paranormal
event or anomaly,
phenomenon, or another
phenomenon,
we write a paper.
Yeah.
We submit it to fucking everybody.
Yeah.
And the chance that somebody grabs onto it, and then we go to one of those fuckers like a James Randy, and we get some money.
Yeah.
Get some money.
Yeah. Or you could just go to our Patreon page and you can give us money.
Yeah, just help us out so we can keep the show going.
Yeah.
You got to keep the lights
It's
on.
expensive.
There's another way you can help us, and we'll tell you about that at the end of the show.
I don't know who you think is paying for all this beer.
Most of it coming out of the land in my pocket.
Come on, Helton.
So now, I know, right? Let's look at the other side now, the spiritual explanation. To believe in a spiritual connection, an explanation for NDE, you would have to buy into at least, if you're not religious, at least into the mind-body dualism.
Okay.
Or like the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Which in my opinion,
Some sort of spiritualism.
Yes, you would have to. You would have to.
Yeah.
You couldn't
like for
just
me
be the
personally,
body.
myself, I honestly think it's all just chemical reactions in the brain.
And scientifically,
and easily explainable.
There's a lot of there's a lot there to work with to lean that way.
Yeah.
And I heavily lean that way, but I do hold out on the possibility of this. If we're looking at like a collective consciousness type situation, if we could, I know we can't prove it yet, but if that were the case, that mind-body dualism would explain all this. Why? Not all of it, because I mean, okay, even in that case, you could still have the chemical reactions accounting for some of the like the wild trips and all that, but maybe some of these clear, more vivid, out of body type experiences. Maybe it's a mixture of being kind of like upper and downer type chemical reaction, or it could be because it is consciousness.
Right, and I think that's the fence that we're sitting on.
Yeah,
there is like
because we don't have the definitive answer either way.
We don't.
Science is really close to just like, all right, what do you got, spiritualists?
Yeah,
because they have a pretty solid explanation.
Well, and I think the thing about it is that I don't think the question started out with scientists, but the question came up enough for scientists to be like, you know what, fuck it, let's find out.
Yeah.
And
that's a true scientist. It's not that's bullshit. No, the true scientist is going to get out there and say, well, this is happening to X amount of people,
right?
X amount of citizens. Let's look into why.
Yeah.
Why are they having this experience?
Yeah.
And I think they got a pretty
but
solid...
I mean, I think, honestly, for me, I lean more firmly on the side that it's all chemical reactions in the brain.
It's a pretty solid explanation.
And it just... Because it's not really a lot said that would be overtly supernatural.
Yeah.
It's just anecdotal situations that somebody says after they've had a traumatic experience and their brain was lacking oxygen.
Well, I was going to say...
How can we trust what they say? And then also with the fact that you've indicated that like a handful of them are, in fact, lies.
Yeah. In every branch of paranormal, there's going to be tons of hoaxes and lies. But yeah, that is the problem with believing in the spiritual side of it all. Is it's eyewitness testimony. It's always eyewitness testimony.
It's not even eyewitness testimony. It's brain witness testimony.
Yeah, and anecdotal evidence. That's all we have so far.
Yeah,
we don't have a way of proving that as we don't with the other types of paranormal.
And once we develop a camera that we can insert into somebody's consciousness,
right? We don't even know what it is yet. I mean, they'll admit they don't know.
They don't know what consciousness is.
They don't know where it arises from. I mean, they have a pretty good idea.
What I don't like is that they're the ones that say that humans are the only ones that are conscious.
No, plants.
Because
everything, as we discussed on the show before,
animals definitely have a consciousness.
Yeah. And for all we know,
they may have a separate degree and level of awareness of their situation and of life,
but it's
and understanding of but they're conscious.
They're not drones.
Yeah,
I mean, even the drone-like creatures out there have consciousness.
They have independent agency.
Yes,
they can fucking do,
and that equates to
consciousness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing I'll argue on every episode if we have to is like, yes, we're not the only ones that are conscious.
Yeah.
We're not the only ones.
If an ape can cry over the death of an infant.
Yeah. And now understanding death, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think to a degree, all creatures understand
They have
death.
a different understanding.
They may have a different understanding. Mm-hmm. They may not have put all of this folklore and
but what I'm saying is there was that story recently where a human was actually able to explain and describe death to a gorilla, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And they were actually able to understand it.
Okay. That's interesting.
But that's cool.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure that they might have had a different level of understanding of it.
Yeah.
And probably wouldn't have put... I wonder, what would happen? Okay, this is a fucked up situation or a fucked up idea, but because of how against religious indoctrination I am. Mm-hmm. But if you could teach an ape sign language.
Yes.
And then indoctrinate it with religion.
Yeah.
How amazing would that be? Like, what would happen?
What if that particular one becomes the prophet amongst the other primates?
Yeah. God.
Caesar.
Yeah. And then you just let it go in like in an ape commune and have it teach. Oh man.
That would be crazy.
I would wonder. You can see fucking like banana crosses and shit.
They already war with each other. Mm-hmm. Bringing religion to them is going to bring more war to them.
Yeah.
It's going to bring more war to them. It'll bring a little bit of peace and a whole lot more war.
I think all of the atheist monkeys will just kill all the religious monkeys.
They find a way to time travel someday when they become as advanced.
No, I just think like I'm just picturing like a religious ape or trying to like proselytize to a non-religious ape,
and they just throw a rock at them.
Yeah,
here, I stoned your ass.
Yeah,
you're fucking up my high. I tried to get stoned. No, what if they got to the point where
they knock on that one ape's tree and they're like, "Do you have a moment to talk to about our Lord and Savior?"
What if they get to the point of Planet of the Apes and then they go even further and they discover time travel? They go back and they just fucking stone the fucking one that started it all.
Yeah,
we had a peaceful civilization, even though we fought.
Yeah, but it was over.
We fought like the monkeys. Wait,
see the way that the apes fight right now, the way that they war right now, it's for territory.
It's very basic. It's
food, for breeding.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Territory, so that they have the food that they need for the energy, for them to have a larger area for fucking.
Kind of like humans. But wait.
Yeah.
Okay, and while it's not 100% explained through science, there still remains no satisfying evidence for spiritual connection, like I was saying.
Yeah.
It's sad.
I don't think that, I mean, again, because it's anecdotal, because it's subject to an individual being able to just say whatever the fuck they want to say without us being able to verify it.
No.
I wouldn't be able to lean towards a supernatural explanation or a spiritual explanation, because so much of it can logically, for me, be explained scientifically through reactions in the brain due to chemicals and other situations, other stimuli. I don't see how it could be a religious or spiritual or supernatural thing when so much of it, I mean, yes, not definitively 100% say scientifically this is definitively why these things happen, but enough explanation to at least understand why these things could happen in someone's brain leads me to believe that is.
Oh yeah, I'm a hardcore.
And I don't even want to say leads me to believe. It leads me to understand that that's plausible, and that's the most likely situation.
One, they're giving up an explanation, a possible explanation.
Yeah.
Yes, some spiritualists will try to offer up an explanation, but it's horseshit.
An unprovable explanation.
It's horseshit. It's not testable.
Yeah. I could say that you can induce a near-death experience by shoving a ruby up your ass right before you die.
But can you prove it?
Can you prove it?
No. But still, okay. Despite all this, out-of-body NDEs, they're still by far the most fascinating to me.
Yeah.
And I'll get...
Well, and then again, that goes back to what I was saying before about... And I think it does have to do with the fact that I have this weird insomnia where it's not complete insomnia, and it's not all the time. Like, I don't constantly have, like, I just go through bouts of insomnia where I can't sleep, or if I sleep for like 3 hours and then I'm up again.
That's me. A lot of it's work for me, and then caffeine, and then my need to... It's almost like the Tesla effect. It's like you want to keep doing things.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to create things and work on things and think about things and tinker with things, and there's never enough time in the day. Even though
it could be our manic side.
Yeah, a little bit of a manic side.
Yeah.
I never come down to the depressed side. Like, if there's any depression, it just kind of...
I think you and I have the same...
It's like the icing on top of the manic.
I think you and I have the same type of manic depression where it's a really slow progression.
Yeah.
And that dip...
When I go low...
That dip is quick.
When I'm
and then
low,
it goes back up.
It's not even worth acknowledging.
Yeah.
A lot of it...
Oh, no, I could get really low.
When I get really... Whenever I get to what I feel is really low... It's always on a high of being manic about it, like doing things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think that's my way of coping, I guess. Maybe I just don't allow myself to get in that extreme low.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's there.
Distractions.
There's just never enough time.
Yeah.
Like this episode, we've gone over an hour. Yes. Yay, look at that. But a few more points here. It's still the most fascinating to me. And I'm sure it's like when the heart stops, the brain stops functioning. We know this. Consciousness fades, so far as we know, minutes after. The left temporoparietal junction has I've said that so many times now. Just...
Now there's people out there listening, our listeners who are like, now I have a new term that I can use in
left temporoparietal. We've thrown out quite a few terms over these 30-something episodes.
We're a learning pod. We're an educational podcast.
Learning to learn you something.
Learning to curse.
Learning so we can learn you something.
Fuck.
But yeah, the left temporal...
Let's say it phonetically. Spell it with a PH. Yeah.
Which funny side story here. Sometimes when I'm talking to Chuck and Jeremy, just kind of inside baseball, I'll voice text a lot of times because I'm at work.
It's so funny too sometimes.
And it actually does PHUK. Yeah. Fuck it. I'm like, how do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah. But yet every time I try to spell fuck, it says it changes the duck. You must mean duck. You must mean duck. But yeah, the left temporal.
You mother ducker.
Auto ducker. That's a little engineering term.
Yeah.
Out there. The left temporoparietal junction has a reduction in function. I just had to say that because it's funny. Due to oxygen, and you start hallucinating that you are out of your body. But it doesn't explain.
how much of that is caused by OxyContin?
There you go. But here's kind of like a little saving grace here. I'm just going to throw this in here because I'm really leaning towards the science these days on this particular topic. But it doesn't explain how you can clearly see everything as vivid as some of these accounts are.
Okay. I can explain it for you real quick if you'd like.
Well, hold on. And it doesn't explain how some of these accounts are so vivid, and they have people that could verify that they've seen things that they shouldn't have been able to see from their perspective. I could see feeling like the tinkering around with the left temporoparietal junction. They've been able to prove that you can be almost outside of yourself and see yourself.
Yeah,
but it's a hallucination. You can't hallucinate real things that are in the room that you shouldn't be able to see, and that's the only thing that's kind of tethering me here.
I can try to explain. It may not be a 100% definitive explanation, but there's a handful of things that it could be. Lying is one of them. But if they have somebody that can verify it, that's not lying. Well,
but we won't know. Yeah.
So.
But are all these cases lies?
For example, somebody who has even a modicum of an understanding of how a situation would work, say if you're in a hospital and you're having that near-death experience,
they could be
you can describe.
I saw scalpels over there.
You could describe the bustle of a busy operating room to a T and be like pretty accurate. Like there were nurses around me, there was a doctor, there was this, and there was that. Yeah, because you're in a fucking operating room.
Now, I do discount when they hear. I was above my body, but I heard them say this exactly. Well, yeah, you could have still had hearing function.
Yeah.
You could have still seen certain things.
Yeah.
But they would have to actually have it controlled. I know how do you control it?
Yeah.
Unless they do the tinkering with the left temporoparietal. But then again, it's not the true near-death experience if there really is one that's, if there's a spiritual connection to this. But it can't be just you heard something. It can't be you just saw something. You heard me? You have to be able to see it from another perspective. And it has to be something that you absolutely would not be able to know.
Right.
And no one else present in the room told you priorly. And there are some stories like that, but do we know?
Hide a fucking card in the corner of the room that says, if you read this, please quote it back to me.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Now, if they could, there have been stories where they claim that is the case, but how can we prove that it's not a lie? That's the only thing.
Yeah.
There you go. And I get that there's the hoaxes.
Yeah. It's fucking hoaxes.
Then you have the seemingly miracle recoveries, like I was talking about earlier. People who have been without oxygen for an extreme amount of time, and they come back, having these experiences, and have no mental issues upon returning. Some of them may have been in a coma for a short time. Yeah, that's definitely an effect.
But it's also a possibility that your brain, because there's a lot about it that we don't understand.
Exactly.
That it can be able to. Maybe there is a some people have like. So there's a recently discovered receptor in our nose that was largely overlooked for years and years and years, but recently the medical community has discovered, like what is it called? Otolaryngologists have discovered there's a pit inside of our nose that is able to detect pheromones. Which they once thought were only present in animals.
Other animals have had it,
But they thought that it wasn't present in humans, but they've discovered it. So maybe there's some sort of pit in the brain.
That could also lend itself to empathy.
Well, again, what I'm saying is that maybe there's a thing in the brain that allows it to go dormant without
like an
extreme
oxygen deprivation kind of hibernation.
Yeah.
Well, we're rhyming a lot on this episode.
Yeah. It's alliteration.
Learning to rap.
Yeah.
Actually, my name is a type of alliteration.
I know.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking terrible.
So is mine.
It does not rhyme. Yes.
No, it's not.
I know. It sounds like it might be, but no. Your name don't start with a K.
No.
It's not Kenyon.
Cuck.
Cuck. A couple of cucks in the closet.
Yeah.
What if there are cucks that don't have wives? They're cucks. Imagine hypothetical cucks.
I mean, you would think that if they're a cuck, they'd be a cuck before they had a...
well, they had the cuck mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But no, check this out. Hypothetical cucks acting out cuck behavior to hypothetical future wives.
It's cuck. It's cuck potentiation.
So cuck potentiation.
Yeah.
So they're out at a bar and their potential
or they're fantasizing about that.
Their
woman.
Mrs. Cuck.
Yeah.
They're gonna watch their Mrs. Cuck.
Yeah.
Get manhandled by some big dude
in their pants
in the bar, and they're just gonna follow them around. Right,
Yeah.
peeking through the bushes, and that's my hypothetical wife, and I'm being a cuck to a hypothetical wife.
Yeah. Or some weird fucking cuck who doesn't have a wife and follows like an actual married couple home and watches them through the window as they fuck.
That's just a voyeur.
Yeah, but he's pretending.
He has cuck, yes.
He's like fantasizing that that's his wife.
Exactly.
And this other man is fucking him.
Delusional. We just created a whole new division of cucks. Delusional cucks.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about.
We're stupid.
And we're back with Learning to Curse with Adam
and Cuck.
You knew where I was going with this.
Yeah. Adam and Duck Cuck.
Adam and Duck Cuck. Then there's the dark side, at least to Chuck and I.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to have people who are religious.
All in all, it's just
and having an NDE. And this is the terrible part. This is you probably know where this is going. It's the dark side to us.
Okay.
They're religious.
Yeah.
They have an NDE.
Yeah.
Reaching for signs like they do.
Yeah.
They do this to validate their religion.
Yes.
And their God.
Yeah.
You know, it happens all the time.
Yep.
Jesus, I saw my Jesus over there.
Right.
And my dead auntie. And all the Catholic symbolisms. I know it's waiting for me when I die.
Everything that my grandmother told me I would see when I passed away, and I would see the pearly gates, and I would see St. Peter and all of them beautiful things and the golden roads, and I praised Jesus forever and ever and ever. And I had an orgasm, and then I woke up. Why won't you send me back?
But the weirdest thing done happen. Peter done turned into a man's Peter.
Yeah.
But I'm going to overlook that because Jesus.
And Jesus was just a giant dildo on a cross.
Religious iconography.
Yeah.
Spiritual symbolism.
Yeah, well, that was our show, guys. And we'll leave you on this note. Giant dildo on a cross.
People seem to be profoundly changed after their near-death experience, like I was talking about earlier. Whether they are religious to begin with or not.
That was probably really loud. I should have turned my head.
Yeah, it kind of startled me for a second. I was like, some religious people have actually gone on to become more what they consider spiritual. I find this interesting.
There was a chunk in that. Ugh.
Oh, no. But I do find it interesting that some people that are religious to begin with have an NDE. And like I was saying earlier about how some of them, it validates their religion to them. Others, they just go on to be more spiritual.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, maybe they didn't see the things that they were told they would see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they believe in something because it's such a strong.
Well, something has to be
event.
something.
Something has to be something.
Yeah.
Some white light has to be some white light.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then while other religious people have
it was jism over my fluorescent light.
Other religious people have held on to their faith. Some atheists moved to a position of agnosticism, but you could be both.
Yeah.
Or being spiritual and so on. And it's got to be. I mean, I've never had the experience. You haven't, other than the choking game.
Right.
But it's got to be. Obviously, this has got to be like a really moving experience for people to shift their positions into.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people that have the NDE, they believe that it was something.
Yeah.
No matter what type it is.
And I mean,
and for me,
maybe it was
knowing what we discussed already on the show.
Yeah.
Knowing we already know about this scientifically, the only one that would make me question if it's real or not. Well, I mean, it's real regardless. But what the nature of it is would be the OBE.
Yeah.
And it would have to. It would depend.
OBE?
It would depend on what type of OBE it was. You know what I mean? If I could prove that I seen something over there, and that's the type of person I am. I would look for something to prove it.
Other badges.
Out of my body, that's cool. But wait a minute. Let me go find something to prove. And that's the problem with a lot of these anecdotal tales. I mean, whether they're lies or these people really believe it or not.
Anecdotal yodel.
Whether they really happen to them or if they're just delusional, they're not looking for ways to prove it.
Right.
Now I get it.
I mean, the ones that legitimately believe they've had these experiences, I wouldn't consider.
Roll with it though.
But I wouldn't consider them delusional. Like the ones that lie about it.
Some are.
Yeah, but no, I wouldn't consider them delusional.
Okay.
I mean, that's just their way of coping with what happened.
Yeah.
That's the best way they had to explain it.
But it was technically a delusion.
Well,
in some of the cases.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as like what you would consider like somebody who's like delusional about like religious shit, I think that's really just the best way that they have to explain the situation. Like before, when I explained it as a ghost, and now I'm like, well, I don't know. I know something happened, but ghost not necessarily the term for it, because I don't know what it was. It could have been an alien fucking with me. It could have been my brain fucking with me. Any kind of thing. You know, I just don't have a way of saying for sure. So I think that if I were to have this type of experience, I would think that for me, I wouldn't have that delusional reaction to it of saying, well, it was something spiritual. Because just like the same, like there are those, and I've heard tells of individuals who have done DMT, who are spiritual, who are religious or have that kind of mentality. And they still know
it is what it is.
No, and they fucking go with it. Like their brain says, this was angels.
Yeah.
And this was like the cosmic entity goddess or whatever.
But now in the typical DMT trip, don't you think they're just kind of trying to attach something to it? Because a lot of the shit they describe in DMT trips, come on.
Yeah.
I think they're just trying to attach something spiritual and religious to it, but it's really just a fucking mess of shit.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if they're religious going into it,
they're going to add to
it. They're going to experience that the way that their mind experiences that. But somebody like myself, I would like to think, because I've done shrooms and I didn't have a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
I knew what was going to happen. I knew that I've ingested a poison, a chemical that's going to affect my brain.
Exactly.
And I knew that it was going to be trippy. It was fun as fuck, but I didn't have a religious experience because of it.
Right.
But somebody
it's who you are going into the trip.
Right.
You know, like we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
I think that is going to wrap it up for this episode on NDE or near-death experience, and I sincerely think this is an area that we should further should be further research, not by us.
Yeah,
I think we're done.
Yeah,
I mean, we might touch on stuff of it. You know,
maybe later
if
like another paper, a scientific paper is released, we could discuss it then.
And where it applies to other subjects that we talk about.
Yeah.
I still see both sides of the argument, but it's leaning. It's like 90-10. And it's only
really
on the
hard
part
for me to see it from a spiritual aspect, knowing how much I know about the way that the brain works and the way when the brain breaks down or is in defense mode or whatever, when you're dying, your brain is going to do some weird ass fucking things.
For me, it's only 90-10 because
I'll say 97-2 for me.
Yeah.
Because
there is that possibility, but it's not looking
97-3.
It's not looking
my
good.
math is God damn it.
It's not looking good for the spiritual side, and when I say the spiritual side, I'm looking at the possibility of like a collective consciousness, and that could account for some of the story. At that point, if they could prove collective consciousness, I would attribute some of these cases to that, and some of them still, like the other types of near-death experiences,
well, just
chemical reactions.
Knowing that even a small sample of them have admitted to lying about it.
Yeah.
Muddies the waters of it for me and all of that.
Just like everything else.
Yeah. That was our episode on near-death excrements.
If you were fascinated by this topic or us talking about the topic, and you're not convinced one way or the other on what near-death experiences really are, check out this awesome website that I mentioned earlier briefly. It's www.nderf.org, like NDERF. It's the website for the Near-Death Experience Research Foundation that I brought up earlier in the show. And if you liked our episode, give us a like, review, follow, subscribe, share, repeat, download.
If you have any topics for future episodes, reach out to us on all of our social medias. You can email us at learningtocurse@gmail.com. That's learningtocurse@gmail.com. If you want to get more information about the Age of Radio syndicate shows, you can go to ageofradio.org.
Go to our page.
Oh, yes, please.
Click
you know what?
links,
go to our page. there are some sponsor leaks on our page now.
We won't say what they are right now because it could change.
They could change, but yeah. But there are definitely sponsor leaks on there. And if you go on there, click on those motherfuckers.
Click a bunch of them, buy some things.
Help some motherfuckers out.
Yeah, some of the things that are on there
my wife's
might not cost anything.
Yeah.
They just, memberships and stuff. And click.
Yeah, click.
Show them that,
clickbait.
Exactly. Support your favorite paranormal enthusiasts.
Yeah. And remember to have your children spayed and neutered.
Yes, exactly. And your dogs and cats properly educated. Yeah, educated and indoors at curfew. Remember back when we were kids? It's 10 o'clock. All over the radio.
I do that all the time still.
Radio in the news. It's 10 o'clock.
Do you know where your kids are?
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, shit. I do that to my wife all the time.
It's like our generation, man. The Generation X.
Yeah.
Let your people tell your people and their people to tell their peoples and the peoples to check out our peoples.
Spread the curse,
meaning just us. Spread the curse like some cheese, some melted cheese.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go expose myself to a tortoise.